Hey there, Leo, it's Sony. This is a love reading for Valentine's Day. I'm going to be asking the tarot cards what your heart wants, why your heart wants it, how your heart can get what it wants, what's magical about your love, and where to focus that magical Leo love. I'm also going to be ending things off with a couple of oracle cards. So, Leo, let's take a look at what your heart wants. You have the Protector, which in this deck is different from the Emperor, but the same concept. Why your heart wants it, 9 of Pentacles. How to get what your heart wants, you have the Creator, which in this deck is different from the Empress. So far you have the equivalent to the Emperor and Empress. What makes your love so magical? You have the Sage of Swords. Sages in this deck are equivalent to queens. Monarchs are equivalent to kings. And where to focus your magical love, you have the 9 of Swords here. So let me kind of get my cards a little situated. The bottom of the deck, which I use as the influencing energy, or the overall lesson of the reading, is the Hanged Moth, which is obviously different than the Hangman, but you get the concept. Interesting that you have so far a lot of the kind of different cards. There's not a lot of differences in this deck from the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, but it is showing up here. So the Hanged Moth, perhaps it has to do with looking at things from a different perspective. So we'll see. We'll go ahead and clarify, but first let's take a closer look at what your heart wants. The Protector, the Emperor, basically it's bold, it's assertive, it's a leader, kind of like Leos, but also they're planners, they set boundaries, they also have the best interest of the entire kingdom in mind. But why your heart wants it is this 9 of Pentacles here, which indicates some type of acknowledgement of material wealth or material resources. It could be recognition of some work that you've put in previously. How your heart can get what it wants, you have this Creator or Empress equivalent, which is basically being creative, being nurturing, being connected with others, with nature, coming from a place of love, sensuality, and kind of being a wealth of ideas, fertility. What makes your love magical? The Sage of Swords or Queen of Swords here is that it indicates you communicate with a balanced heart and mind, and you communicate honestly, truthfully, not with an intention to necessarily injure people, although it might come off as a little kind of cold at times, and can, if your dark side comes out, can be a little biting. Where to focus your love, you have this 9 of Swords. Your magical love is needed to calm your fears and anxiety about a certain situation that really is overtaking your thoughts. Perhaps it is interrupting your sleep. But basically, those thoughts are at this point not productive, and it's kind of outside of your control, whatever is happening. So, and with the Hanged Moth, it has a kind of a lesson of not trying to fight or struggle against the binds, and basically submit. And when you're submitting to what the situation is, you're able to see things from a different perspective and hopefully reach a higher knowledge, higher spiritual plane. So we'll go ahead and clarify what your heart wants. 10 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands. So it could be that you really want to have it all. You are focused on having material wealth, security for yourself and for your community, which is a noble goal. Basically, it seems that with the 10 of Pentacles, you want to create a legacy. Maybe in creating the legacy, if you're wanting to have children, then this creator or empress equivalent in the category of how your heart can get what it wants, maybe that's a way to, create the legacy there. Why your heart wants what it wants? Well, it could be that you've already accomplished a lot, that maybe you have worked hard to get where you are. You have enough for yourself and you are wanting to provide for others. You're looking to expand your beautiful world to include others. So that could be why your heart wants to kind of have this this kingdom. So I'm going to further clarify the 9 of Pentacles. You have the Justice card, and you have the Emperor again. Interesting. So the Justice card, it's moral balance, cause and effect, and objectivity. And with the Emperor, it is, there's not really objectivity, it's just the Emperor's rule. And I'm going to further clarify this because it's very interesting. You have the 4 of Pentacles, which is a sense of security. It's like forming the foundation of security. So it could be that maybe you're trying to balance things out, that you, like I said, have enough of what you need for yourself and you want to kind of spread the joy, the wealth. I'm going to further clarify here the Emperor. And you have the 3 of Swords. So it could be that you want to share and not just keep things to yourself because of maybe some type of something in the past where you want to be a kind of a better ruler than the one that you've experienced in your life. And you basically, the way to be the best overseer of your kingdom is to come from a place of love, abundance, and nurturing everybody in your environment. So I'm going to further clarify this. Page of Swords and 5 of Swords. Okay, so With the Page of Swords, it usually indicates pursuit of truth, getting information, learning everything you need to learn. And with the Five of Swords, it's an indication of someone having a false sense of victory and winning at all costs, needing to know when to walk away. So with how your heart can get what it wants, it's basically being a more feeling connected person and kind of tapping into that love energy, that almost this goddess type energy, and connecting. And you're kind of learning that process, interested in seeing how that's going. And with the Five of Swords there, you're not trying to use your brute force. You're not trying to play mind games with people. You generally want to connect. But it doesn't mean that you don't know how to make decisions, reasonable decisions, how to analyze what's going on. So this is what makes your love magical, is that you're coming from a place of where you're honest with yourself and you want to be honest with others. And I'm going to further clarify that. You have the Wheel of Fortune and Two of Pentacles. So the Wheel of Fortune, it does seem like perhaps there's some moral balance, some kind of karma, something where there is a change in the cycle and you're trying to perhaps not right or wrong, but to balance things out, to make things more fair when it comes to what you have and what you can give. I'm going to further clarify this. We have the King of Cups. So it is saying that you are, instead of just focusing on what makes you financially secure, materially secure, secure in ego, you are wanting to make the decisions where you are secure in your emotions enough where you can be a shoulder to cry on, someone who's able to connect emotionally, not afraid of showing your emotions, and kind of creating the environment that you want, the legacy that you want from a place of love, but also you've got a good head on your shoulders, so that's great. But where to focus your love now is this Nine of Swords. With all this going on, I'm wondering if the Nine of Swords applies to you or to someone else that you care about. Because the Nine of Swords is a kind of a sense of not being able to think clearly or do anything clearly because of fears and anxieties and being caught up in your head. So I'm going to go ahead and clarify this. You have the Two of Cups and you have the Four of Wands. And so, this basically means kind of partnership, celebrations, love, marriage, births, bar mitzvahs, like everything. So it's interesting that you have this as a clarifier for the Nine of Swords. It could be that in creating, maybe you're jumping ahead of yourself. You want this world, this Ten of Pentacles, and you're in a rush to get there. And so basically kind of reassessing this, how you get what you want with this creator thing. thing. This creator card, Empress creator card, and the Page of Swords and the Five of Swords. Basically, it could indicate that there is some kind of calculation to get what you want, maybe using your sensuality. If you are intending to get pregnant, make sure that the other people involved in your life are aware of that as well. And if it is the case that you basically are still kind of going through the process of growing more love in your heart, and you are kind of stressed out about not yet being in a place where you're ready to get married, get engaged, start a family, maybe take some time to slow down and be at peace with what's going on, see things from a different perspective. What I have here as the underside of the clarifying deck is the Nine of Swords. So Leo, I am kind of thinking this is you, that you are in a good place, or you can be in a good place, but just make sure that you're taking some time to take care of yourself and truly connect with yourself before connecting with others. Don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself some love. And I'm going to go ahead and pull another card to see what more we can find out about your magical love. It has this Believe card. So if this is the goal, this is ultimately the goal that you are setting up for yourself, and this is the way that you are kind of getting there, then believe it can happen. So don't get caught up in the Nine of Swords energy. It'll pass. I'm also gonna pull a card to identify the Keeper of the Light that can help draw more love into your life, Leo. We have Holy Amethyst, Divine Alchemy. Move beyond current challenges. Focus on what you desire. So yeah, basically, if you're not exactly where you want to be, focus on what you do want, not on what you don't want or what you don't want to experience or the obstacles. Focus on the actual goal and the joy that it brings. So I'm hoping this provides some helpful perspective, and we'll see you next time. Take care.